welcome to the Oyster Stew podcast. I'm Libby Hall, Director of Communications for Oyster Consulting. In today's episode of Oyster Stew, Ed Wegener chats with Lisa Robinson, formerly a senior leader at FINRA, head of FINRA's Membership and Application Program Group, and now a new member of Oyster Consulting's team. Lisa shares her unique perspective on the registration and continuing membership application process, including what firms should consider when applying for membership or for a CMA. Ed, let's get started.
Well, thanks, Libby, and hello, everyone. I'm Ed Wegener. I am the head of governance, risk, and compliance for Oyster, and I'm extremely fortunate to welcome Lisa Robinson to Oyster. Lisa has years of experience working as a senior leader at FINRA, and her work leading the membership and registration program there adds greatly to what I think is our already deep bench of experienced consultants. So we wanted to introduce Lisa, talk about her experience at FINRA, how that experience shaped her outlook and approach, and have her share her perspective on the regulatory process for broker-dealers. So welcome, Lisa. We're very excited to have you join the team. I wonder, maybe just by way of introduction, if you could just talk about your experience and the roles that you've had and how they've evolved throughout your career.
Sure, and thanks, Ed, for having me here at Oyster. As you said, I was with FINRA for actually over 25 years, starting back when it was NASD. I started actually as an examiner, reviewing customer complaints, terminations for cause, reg tips. I then became a manager in that area and then an associate director in the examination program. I was ultimately asked to join the membership program group. And at the time, the group had just gone through a restructuring, and FINRA wanted to take a more risk-based approach to the membership application process. So for over 7 years, I was the only senior director for the group, which had about 40 people. And as you know, Ed, the MAP group serves as the gatekeeper to the broker-dealer industry. So going from examinations to the membership application group really gave me kind of a different perspective, a different view of the business units within FINRA, and they all play a vital role. So it really, over my career, really got me to focus on what are the risks of a broker-dealer, how do you identify those risks, and how do you mitigate them?
You know, that's excellent. And I think that experience, that position that you have in membership, being on the front end of broker-dealers, joining the industry, as well as firms that are making material changes, provides you perspective not only into real deep aspects of those firms and how they operate and the procedures that they need to have in place and the compliance programs, but also just the breadth of different types of broker-dealers that you see in the industry. And it's amazing just how different the types of broker-dealers are, depending on the type of business activity. So that perspective is I think really helpful to have. So, I guess one of the questions that I have is, what are some of the things that you enjoyed most about those different roles that you had at FINRA?
Yeah, sure. So looking back on my career now at FINRA, I really first obviously enjoyed the level of collaboration with colleagues across the different departments within FINRA and the collaboration with the membership. So if you think about it, you mentioned all the different products. Before a broker-dealer can engage in a new line of business, they would have to come and talk to the MAP group about it. So I really enjoyed it. It was like being on the cutting edge of, an ever-changing regulatory landscape, right? Whether it's platforms or, just the innovation going on out there was really, really great to see. And going back to what I enjoy, everyone at FINRA really cares about the mission, and that's what I really loved about FINRA.
It's interesting, having been at FINRA for over 20 years, one of the things that I really appreciated by it, and it kind of ties into what you're saying, is when you're in a role for 20 years, it's real easy for that role to become stale. But at FINRA, because the way the industry kept evolving and changing, you always felt like you were seeing new things and having to keep up with new things and having to learn new things, which is it's rare that you have a role where you constantly have to keep up like that, and it's very exciting. So I guess as you transition into this new role, how do you think that that experience that you had and your perspective can help our clients?
Yeah, so as I said before, everything with FINRA is about the mission, investor protection, market integrity, reviewing firms' programs to see if they're compliant, and in MAP, serving as the gatekeeper, interacting with the membership. I'm able to offer just a different perspective to industry participants. Again, what are the risks with what you're thinking about doing? How could we mitigate these risks? Just giving clients an objective view on this like critical risk-based approach, I think is really valuable.
And I think that, as we kind of then, position in terms of what you think firms should be thinking about and understand about the new and continuing membership processes. What are some of the things that, based on your experience, that you can share that might help them sort of navigate that challenging course?
Yeah, sure. So firms really you need to be ready before you file anything with FINRA, with the MAP group. Have your business plan in order, have the whole compliance, supervisory, operational structure, all of that ready to go. FINRA seeing it possibly for the first time, right? So you have to be able to explain it to them in terms they understand. One of the things that the FINRA MAP group offers are pre-filing meetings. So before you even file an application, reach out to the FINRA MAP staff. They really do want to meet with you before you file. They'll bring in other internal subject matter experts, and you could have that dialogue. Another thing that's really important is to reach out to your firm's risk monitoring examiner. Having a good working relationship with that individual will really help you, whether it's the new member, continuing member application, or just anything you want. It's important to have that good relationship.
That role, that the risk monitoring analyst, I think in the past have been coordinators, and the roles titles change, but as you mentioned, that role is so important. And we've talked about this before, as we've talked about how the examination programs have evolved and become more risk-based. Is that role, the person that's responsible for the firm, is the one that really is expected to know the most about the firm and use what they know about the firm in order to make critical decisions about how often the firm gets examined, what gets looked at, and all of those things. So having that good relationship can only benefit the firm in terms of helping shape that narrative and the perception of risk at the firm.
Yeah, and that risk monitoring analyst is still going to play a key role in whatever application you file with the membership group. So again, it's just really important to fill that person in and have those discussions with that analyst.
Lisa, towards the end of both of our times at FINRA was going through a pretty significant transformation in terms of how they were organized and really being focused on the different business models. As we had mentioned, the business models are very different firm by firm, and really understanding that and really trying to develop that level of subject matter expertise that the industry feels that they need in order to be effective as regulators. And I know that, in the membership department, as part of applications, the groups reached out to subject matter experts and teams to evaluate membership applications. And can you talk a little bit about the reliance on some of these other areas and how firms should understand the level of depth they're going to get into in the applications?
Yeah, sure. And that's really important. Whatever you file with the membership group, again, they're going to reach out to the risk monitoring analyst and any other key subject matter experts so that they could weigh in on the business plan and model proposed. So MAP may not know everything, have all the answers to even the applicants' questions, but it's really good. It's a very good collaborative experience, and the MAP team will reach out to other experts, invite them to membership interviews or on phone calls, so that when the MAP group is ready to grant approval, they're confident that at least at the time the application time, everything is in order.
And that's important, because one of the things that I've experienced in going through the process is you're going to get really deep involved questions that are coming directly from the subject matter experts on things like cybersecurity. So you should be prepared to answer those deep questions, because they're going to be coming from the subject matter experts.
Yeah, that's right.
So now that you're pivoting into this role and joining the industry and working as a consultant to benefit our clients, what are some of the things that you wish that the industry knew more about when it comes to the regulators? And then also, having the perspective of working with people in the industry, what are some of the things that you think regulators should know more about the industry?
Sure. So the first, what I wish the industry knew more when it comes to regulators is maybe it's obvious, I don't know, but regulators really want member firms to be compliant, and they want to help you be compliant before you run afoul of any rules, right? So firms should be comfortable reaching out, like we talked about, to their assigned risk monitoring analyst. Use the tools on FINRA.org. There's a ton of really good information there. But FINRA wants a collaborative relationship with the industry.
And I think that, that just kind of harkens back to building that relationship with the risk monitoring analysts, because if you have a good relationship with them, it's more comfortable to reach out to them and have those discussions. I think that's great. And then on the flip side, what do you think the regulators should know about the industry and appreciate?
Yeah, so I'm still pretty new to being on the other side of things, but what I've seen already here at Oyster is clients really want to be compliant too. They don't want to run afoul of anyone, and that's why they reach out to Oyster, so that we could help them with their compliance program, with their changes in business models or setting up a broker-dealer, having experience like you and I, former regulators, practitioners, having all that is all because they want to be compliant. So I think that's really great.
That's excellent. And one of the areas, Lisa, that I know that you're passionate about is supporting the role of women in the financial services industry. And you've been very involved in a lot of efforts around that. And I wonder if you could talk about your efforts in that space and share any observations that you have in this regard.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's very important for women to support other women. I think compliance is still generally seen as a male-dominated profession. So supporting other women to help them be successful is important to me. I've worked with the NSCP in the past, and I've participated on some panels where women talk about their experiences in compliance and how they've navigated certain situations. And, we get really good input and feedback from women who either join the panels or just listen in. So it's really helpful. I also had the honor of attending an executive education class on women in power. And I met some of the most incredible women from all over the world. And although they were all fantastic individuals with their own unique story, there were so many common themes about their experiences in the workplace and what they had to navigate and go through to achieve the positions they had. One of the things that has recently been reinforced to me as I transitioned from FINRA to the industry is the importance of networking.
Yeah.
Helping other women is something, as I said, it's really important. And I have some plans on how I can contribute to support women while I'm here at Oyster. So thanks for mentioning that, Ed.
No, absolutely. And that's terrific. And, it just goes again. I think we're extremely fortunate that you've joined our team. And we're really looking forward to working with you and having you support our clients. So thank you very much, A, for joining, and B, for being here today. So really appreciate it. And, we'll talk again.
Thanks everyone for listening. If you'd like to learn more about our experts and how Oyster can help your firm, visit our website at oysterllc.com. And if you like what you heard today, follow us on whatever platform you listen to and give us a review. Reviews make it easier for people to find us. Have a great day.